What's going on, YouTube? What's going on, the gram? I guess the tube, the gram, right? Ha. Finally able to walk more comfortably, more confidently. Yeah, I still can't bend certain ways, but luckily I'm a member of a great union, a dues paying union that I pay dues to, so that I have the benefits of going to the wellness center. And shout out Dr. Arjun Bali, just snap me into place there. So since I've been laying on my back for the last week, I've been getting up to doing a little bit. I've been writing some letters for leads, to generate leads, right? Before I slipped and fell on my ice, my back on the ice and was out of commission completely. I already did hurt my back years ago. It's actually hereditary in my family. But then at work, it started to bug me again, along with my elbow. So it gave me some time to take a layoff. I didn't want to go through all the, I don't know, man. I don't have a family doctor, right? The hospital's like a 14-hour wait. The walk-in clinic, same thing. And I didn't want to have to go through all the hoops to get this and that and light duty and blah, 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 blah. Because essentially at the end of the day, I don't even really want to do masonry anymore. And I haven't for a while. And I just went back to the mortgage. I got the mortgage. I don't know why I stayed. I did more, not for me, but more for people I worked with, because I know I'm a good laborer, and and if I'm not good, I'm always striving to get better. And I know we need laborers, right? We need construction workers, period, trades, period, right? Development. 500,000 immigrants coming in yearly to help the society stay the society it is. Anyway, so I went to the investor meetup in Hamilton before I hurt my back, and I was still working. I've only been off work for a week. And laying down for that whole week because of my back. But I started going to more networking events, right? I missed the union meetup. I missed my networking event because I was sick. Right? And that starts to weigh on me. It starts to make me feel bad and down because, when I go to these events and I surround myself by this new crowd of people, I get to surround that I get the blessing of surrounding myself by, whether they're investors, agents, wholesalers, flippers, guys that work in the trades, guys that are in my union, and company owners, whatever the case is, right? They're not the old life. Well, we'll leave it at that for now until I'm comfortable with coming out with, why I feel that this is motivational. People probably already know I'm just being a scaredy cat and not sharing it, right? So, when I go to the Hamilton meetup, I run into some people. I tell them a little bit about where I'm at in my investing life, and I come across a couple of people that say, "Hey, have you ever heard of this? Network marketing, right?" And I'm like, "No." So I contact with them. I talk to some that are already doing it, right? I'm not suffering from shiny object syndrome where I'm going to jump to something else from wholesaling real estate and investing in real estate like I'm doing and like I've had success in. But I would like to get inbound leads through websites, DocuSign, virtual showings, virtual walkthroughs, right? Like some other investors that I've had contact with that are very successful and very fruitful like that. I'm not saying that I'm not always going to door knock. I'm always going to door knock because if I'm feeling low and I need to brighten up my day, I go and I knock on some doors and it makes me feel better. I enjoy the masculine to masculine interaction with people in the physical. The vibes, as long as they're on some good vibes. Even if they're not, sometimes I cheer them up and it does things for me. Anyway. So these guys that I meet, eventually comes down to, the same thing that the person that got me into wholesaling said, and real estate investing. They said, "Hey, read these 2 books and get back to me." I'm like, okay. They're audio books, I can just listen to them. I went home and I listened to one of them and half the other one. The 2 books were Richest Man in Babylon and Rich Dad Poor Dad. I read Richest Man in Babylon first and got partially way through Rich Dad Poor Dad. But so these guys are like, "Yeah, you got to read this book." Right? They're like, "Yes, we'll give you 3 to 5 days to read it, but really it's like a 3-hour read, right?" And I'm sitting there thinking if only they knew that when I was in school before I was expelled, I was in that program where, you know, they exempted me from French because I wasn't comprehending. My reading skills were, and still are, so bad. I'm on like the 6th day of this book, and like I think I got like 50 pages left. But, you know, the bright side of slipping on the ice and hurting myself is that I had to be on my back laying there, and I had time to read. I learned a new skill through DocuSign via using my iPhone. And like I said, soon I'll be jumping on my computer, getting to learn my laptop fluently because, yeah, surprise, surprise, I never went to, you know, I never grew up with a computer. Like, when I get on my computer, I literally, it's like a whole new world to me. I'm like, you know, I remember I applied for a business rep job for my union. I was like, hey, whatever, you know, 100K a year, like, why not? I can qualify for mortgages pretty easy with that, right? They're like, send us your application in PDF, in a PDF form. I did not know what that was. I had no idea, right? I sent them a document, a Word doc, right? And that was like one of the last questions that they asked me. They're like, so how are your computer skills? And I was like, you know, they're okay. Some brushing up, right? But whatever, right? And then today, now I can send documents on DocuSign. I just signed a document using DocuSign to my cell phone the other day, so I'm not just laying around with my layoff here. You know, I'm learning. I will be door knocking, right? 100%, all that stuff. But actually, you know, I think it's funny, right? Like, you can't compare yourself to anybody else, right? Because everybody grows up differently. Everybody grows up in this class or that class of people or whatever the case, you know, with this, what could be looked as something that happened or whatever, right? So, you know, like, I learned through all that stuff, right? Like, going back to work was very humbling for me, right? And that's great because I need that, right? Like, I can call myself arrogant sometimes, right? Like, going from homeless 3-4 years ago to owning a duplex today, or even just closing deals and wholesale deals, I'd be like, I'm that guy, eh? I'm that guy. Oh, you own 10 apartment buildings? Well, guess what? I closed 2 deals. What up? So, you know, I need to practice the humility, right? Which I've gotten 10 times better with, 100%. And then, yeah, and like, I never, right? So, with all that in mind, it's like, what a foreman may say to me or a person in a certain tone or a certain way, to me, it may seem like they're coming off like, you know, either condescending or rude or whatever the case, right? But then to that person, that's how they've joked with their colleagues and friends their whole life growing up, right? So, you know, the great lesson learned there was you can't really take offense to anything that anybody says, reflecting on people grow up in different areas, aspects, levels, classes in life, right? So these are all things, right? Like, and you know, I've sat down with a couple people and talked to a couple people about like maybe joining their wholesale team or joining their company, etc., right? But then I slipped on the ice and I laid on my back for 2 weeks straight and read a couple books, right? Which, you know, like, always trying to make the best out of something, right? Like, you know, you can hurt your back. You can, you know, smoke pot, drink beer, and watch movies that are, you know, dulling your mind and wasting your time, right? Or, you know, you can geek out on books and learn how to use your laptop, right? And that's what I've been doing for like 7 days straight, right? But yeah, so I quit my job, right? Took a layoff, right? But like I said, I don't plan on going back to masonry laboring. Like, it's great, you know, it's great if you cut out for it, right? Which I proved to myself that I am, and I did it for a year longer than what I really needed to, right? I guarantee I will have to go back to my T4 income sometime because that's what makes sense to get mortgages. And in the meantime, I'm looking for more deals that I got a potential lead. I got 2 more. I got one that I got to walk through. I got one that I'm just waiting for the seller to call me back. So that was great for you know, motivation, right? First day out, yeah, I slipped on the ice and broke my back. However, got a potential lead and 2 hot leads, right? So that's great, right? And you know, I suggest to anybody, right? I talk to a good guy named John on a regular basis, and you know, he's out there door knocking too, right? Not a lot of people are out there door knocking, so you know, it's a good way to find great deals. It's very time consuming. Anyway, stick on the ice. Have a great day.